Hey guys, welcome back to Broken Journey, the podcast. I am your host, Elba Rivera. Thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait for you to listen to this episode today. I have my friend Lynn with Vin Collective. She is a wine enthusiast, and I was picking her brain today about her new ventures in creating a wine experience you would not want to miss. So, here goes, guys. Check out my convo with Lynn from Vin Collective. Hey, Lynn, how are you?
Hey, how you doing? I'm well.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have you here today. And you know, you're going to be talking about your business. And before we get started, I wanted you to introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about you.
Okay, well, I'm Lynn and I'm a mother of three beautiful girls. Um, I have two grandbabies in Miami, and I'm
Oh,
also a queen to my husband.
awesome. That's what
That's
I'm
what I
talking
like to say.
about. That's right, girl. That is right. It's right on point.
Oh,
Yes,
yes,
yes, yes.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
awesome. That is awesome, awesome. So I wanted to kind of talk about your business, and I don't want to give all the details, so I'm gonna say your business name, which is Vin Collective LLC, and I'm
Yes.
just gonna say something that you are offering wine experiences in the Tampa Bay area, and I'm sure you probably go a little bit outside of the area, but I know
Yes.
that most of your business is in the Tampa Bay area. So, tell me a little bit about the business.
Well, Vin Collective is a wine tasting experience company. I started Vin Collective out of my love for wine. I mean, I'm just trying to remember back. I've always loved wine. I've always drank wine, and I visit many wineries and vineyards.
Um,
Probably starting out since the early '90s, and
awesome.
not telling how old I am because I'm only 28.
Right? And I'm
uh,
25, girl. I'm 25.
right, right. But I would say probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I said to myself, I need to do something with wine. I've always wanted to be in some type of public speaking. I've always
Yes.
been in like training and coaching like type of areas throughout my career. So I love to talk to people. I love to learn, and I love for other people to learn. So as I was learning a little bit out of wine just for fun, I said I need to do something with that, and that's kind of how Then Collective LLC was born.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And I know I've seen a few pictures of you, girl, on Instagram going around. And
Yes.
I love that. I love that, and there's nothing more, um, how do you say that? There's nothing more fruitful than
Hmm.
doing something that you love to do, right?
Right, that you really enjoy doing. And that's how I feel. I
Yes,
hope that those pictures convey that. Because
it
my
does.
my thank you. My wine tasting experiences are, private to the person or persons who book with me. I do it virtually. In-home experiences or venues that my clients choose, and I basically
Okay.
curated around the experiences that they would like to have. So I don't really show, them on there because that's a private situation. I
Of
do
course.
do, yes, I do monthly ones that I do for the public that anyone can join, and I do have those on Eventbrite. So I did one last week, which was like
Okay.
stems, bottles, and heels, and it was not a
That
private event;
sounds
it was
fun.
anyone could join. Yes. So we got all like dialed up, and everybody had on their little outfits, pants, outfits, dresses, whatever,
Right.
but heels, just like come out and have a good time. I did have a couple of gentlemen there, so
Oh,
not
that's
every.
cool. That's cool. That's
Yes, I
cool.
don't want everybody to think it's just for the
Just females.
ladies.
That's right.
Yes,
That's
yes,
right.
because
You'd be
men enjoy wine
surprised.
too.
I was just
Yes.
gonna say that you'd be surprised how many men enjoy wine. A lot of, I mean, for the most part, we kind of think of all the women with the wine and all this stuff, but you'd be surprised how many men really enjoy wine too.
You'd be surprised how
Okay.
many men enjoy wine. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
what I was gonna ask you was how many wineries have you been to? Like
Oh
the
my gosh.
right?
I would say I can't even remember, but I've probably been to at least big and small. I've probably been to over 40 wineries.
Oh,
Um,
so
yes. And
amazing.
what exactly happened is I actually wanted to go when I was telling you about 5 or 6 years ago. I actually wanted to go to a seminar at this
Okay.
beautiful vineyard in Florence, Italy, and of course that never happened. And
Okay.
that always stuck back in my mind. Like, I'm going to do something with wine. I'm going to learn. And
Right.
just to let you know, Italian wines are my favorite wines. I like old
Mhm.
style wines. So I
Okay.
like them bold and spicy.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So that
Awesome.
kind of like, put a spark in me.
Okay.
I have visited some real nice wines. I have still not been to Florence, Italy, but I am going to get there.
That's
I
right.
am
We
going to
got to
get
put that
there.
in the universe. We have to put that
Yes,
in the universe. Yes. Yes. Yes.
exactly. I've done some seminars with IEEM, which is an Italian based conference and wine world. But they
Okay.
do also have a US based company, and they hold conferences in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, New York, Atlanta,
Okay.
um, LA every year. So the last 2 years I
Ooh.
have been uh, attending their conferences, and oh man, they're just wonderful. I
Oh,
just have
I
a
could
great
only
time.
imagine. I can only
Yes.
imagine. I'm not, I would say I like wine, but, I like variety. So,
Yes.
but every time, like I saw one of my friends who I work with, she went to California.
Mhm.
When she said, "Girl, I went to 5 different wineries over there on wine tasting experiences." She was like,
Yes.
she said we had to get an Uber back to the hotel.
Yes.
She
If
said,
you're having a Napa Valley experience, honey, you
"Yes,
definitely need to
have
hire
a
a ride. Yes.
either get an Uber or have someone who is going to be your designated driver for the
Designated driver. Exactly.
day."
Exactly.
That
I'm
is
going to
so
tell you, my first experience kind of I was not on the job, but I was there for business,
okay.
and the client wanted to have lunch, and we had lunch. My first winery actually in California was Ponte,
Okay.
Ponte, and
Okay.
oh my gosh, I had such a great time. But I tell you what, when my words started to slur, I was like, oh my goodness, this is not good for the business. This is not good, because I was working for my corporate job at that time.
Right.
And I said, this is
Right.
not good for the business, Lynn. But I'm telling you what, when I got back, they gave me so many accolades. They were like, to my manager, my
Oh,
supervisor, oh, we just really love Lynn. And that was one of my
that's
best clients,
awesome.
I tell you what. And that experience, you just brought back a memory right there. That was
Wow,
one of
that's
my
awesome. That is
best meeting
awesome.
experiences I had.
I could only imagine. That's awesome though. When you get to
Yeah,
go out and experience those things and do things that you truly love. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
That's
Yes.
that's just I gotta tell you, like I closed my eyes for a minute and started envisioning that of you going out there and, going and experiencing that. That I gotta tell you, there's nothing more amazing than going and doing those experiences. And especially like, like after this pandemic and now, it's starting to pick up again and all this stuff, you kind of
Yes,
put things into perspective and say, you know what, I need to start living my life. I need to start enjoying. I mean,
exactly.
not that I don't do that, but I'm just saying, like, in general, there's some people out there who truly do not, they
Right. And I tell you, you
complain.
need, yes, and you need to get up and you need to start doing something, because I tell you
Right.
that's kind of how I move forward with Vin Collective, because you know I had actually thought about starting back in 2019, and of course the pandemic hit at the end
Hey.
of 2019, beginning of 2020 for
Right.
everybody, and it's like things were going haywire, and I was like,
Yeah.
after this last year, I said, I just cannot let anything else get in my way, not even Lynn. Don't
Right.
you get in your own way, Lynn. And
Right.
you just have to step out on the faith and you just have to go ahead and shoot your shot. And so that's what I did. And
Exactly.
I recommend that to everybody. Just, live your life. You have to.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. And when I sat down and I realized that too, not that, like I told you before, not that I didn't live my life, because I would go out and
Right.
do other things, but when there's something that you are passionate about, right? And you keep, like you said,
Yes.
you getting in your own way, you need to move the hell out. Move out your
Right. You
own
do.
way
You
and start
move.
going forward. Start going forward. Start driving.
Exactly.
Start moving, you know? And something in me started changing too, and with the company that I work for now, they let go of two. There was three of us in this department, and they let go
Hmm.
of two people. And I'm grateful, thank God, that I still had my job. However, I was working 15 and 16 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yes, I
And
can
I
just
started saying to
imagine.
I started saying to myself, wait a minute, is this what you want, girl? No, 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 no. I said, you know what? This is not what I want. And that's when I started
Yeah,
doing this podcast. That's when I started saying, you know what? Things are going to change. You need to start doing what you love. And yes, you know what? This is my angel job. This is my angel
yes.
job. That's what I call it, my angel income, right? Because this
Hey,
is the
I
income
think
that's
you're
going to
doing a great job. I've been
take
listening
you.
to your podcast and you're doing a wonderful job. I think
Oh,
that
thank you.
I won't even call it a job. I think I think it's a calling for you.
Right. And so I
Yes,
just use like my corporate America as my angel income. And I'm just
yes,
like, you know what? This, let me tell you something. I felt like God led me into doing this because he's like, you know what? You got stuff to do, girl. And you playing
yes,
around and I'm in my own
yes.
way. And I'm like, no, no, let's get out of this. Let's get out of this. So I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you are able to go and start doing that. And like I said, I see your Instagram and I'm like, oh my God, that looks like so much fun. I was like, it looks so exciting. And I can see in your face, I can see in your body gestures and all that stuff how I feel like if you have a light surrounding you when you are
Oh,
in
thank
in
you.
that vibe, when I see you doing something that you love, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And I'm super
yes.
excited for you. I'm super excited for you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so give us like a little glimpse of what you provide with your wine experience.
Okay. So I curate the wine experience around what you, my client, might like. For instance, if you went to my website to book a wine tasting, once you go in to book, I do like a little inquiry, and I kind of like ask you some questions of what you're looking for and ask you even to jot down some things. And then I take that information and probe you a little bit more. And I try to make the wine experience based on what it is you want to have. For instance, like I had a client, they really didn't know. Well, we're just going to be in Kissimmee, Florida, and we want to have a wine tasting. Meet us there. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of
Awesome.
like what I
Awesome.
got from them. And
Okay.
that's exactly what I did, and I made it
Okay.
fun. While I was getting set up, it was kids running from the pool and people
Oh,
playing air hockey and all that kind of thing. But, when the
right.
grown-ups came out, the men and women, they came, and I just made it really exciting for them, and we just had a good time. So it wasn't all of me like teaching about the wines, but it was more of
Right.
me like engaging them and then
Right.
answering their questions and getting them involved. And they're like, okay, well, we can get with this. You know what I'm saying? Because it
Of
was some
course.
wine drinkers, and then there were some novices, that
Okay.
didn't really drink wine, but you're here. Let me go ahead and indulge as well. Let me tap in. So
Of course, yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
yes.
definitely. That's awesome. That's awesome. And now I heard you said some people were flying into Kissimmee. So you are besides the Tampa Bay area, right? Which we are here in
Hmm.
Florida, for those people who are listening outside of the state of Florida, you know,
Yes.
we are in the Tampa Bay area. But were if someone was to ask you, you know what, we're going to be in Miami, can you come down to Miami or whatever for the wine experience? Do you offer that as well?
I sure do. I actually do. Yes. I've gone to Atlanta. I have an engagement next month in Indiana. So yes, I
Ooh.
travel for wine, baby. I travel for wine.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's
Yes.
awesome. That is so awesome. I absolutely love that. So I know that you said, that you go outside. I'm trying to think of other stuff that we can incorporate here. Um, you go outside of the Tampa Bay area. You can go anywhere within Florida. You said you go to Indiana. If they're willing
Mhm.
to book that appointment, you're willing to go out there.
Right. And there is, just a little small premium added on there because I am flying. Of course, I'm
Of
not asking you to
course.
buy my ticket or anything like that. But,
Right.
I may have to ship in an order of wine because I do have my own cellar, if you will, where I
Ooh.
have wines that my clients can choose from. Um,
Okay.
like for instance, I'm doing an event in October, which is open to the public. Tickets are
Okay.
on sale on
Your
Eventbrite.
website.
Um,
Okay.
yes, I'll give you that information so that you
Yes.
can put it up. But I'm doing like a celebrity wine sightings. So basically,
Ooh.
there are a lot of celebrity wines, and a lot of people don't necessarily know that it's a celebrity wine that they may be indulging in. So I'm
Really?
saying either dress like your favorite celebrity or come with that manifestation, with that
Right.
mindset or something, and let's enjoy
Okay.
wine and some light bites and listen to some music and talk about this wine that these winemakers are coming up with these
Okay.
celebrities being involved. So I do little things like that.
That.
I
Mm.
uh, I
And the
kind of
knowledge.
like I said, I kind of try to make it fun but knowledgeable.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point, right? Just making sure that those people who are probably new to wine, or you know or people who are wine enthusiasts, right? Who love wine,
Right.
but I mean,
Just want
you
a different
love wine,
atmosphere.
right? You love wine,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean you know everything, right?
Everything.
And so
Right.
getting that experience that you're providing is just like so amazing, because like I drink wine, right? But
Hmm.
I don't drink, like, I'm not an enthusiast, right? Let's just say it like
Right.
that. I'm not an enthusiast, but I do drink wine. And personally, I don't know the difference between a lot of these wines, right? I actually have a wine bottle, and I need to look where I put it away in my pantry.
Hmm.
And we were doing an event at work, like a Christmas, like the elephant, that white elephant thing. And
Yes. Yes.
I I got I got this wine, and the person who was my boss at the time, she was like, "Oh my God." She was like, "Man, that wine is delicious." And because she's like a wine enthusiast, right? And she
Mhm.
was like, this, and she was telling me all about it. And I felt so stupid because I was like, I have no idea what she's talking about, but she ain't getting my bottle of wine.
No, but you
Not
shouldn't
like
have. You should have just embraced the information that she was giving you so that when you decide to have it, you can embark on that. You can, play that back in your head, or you can look into it further and you can enjoy it. I'm
right.
still learning. I am still a student of wine, and you will even have some sommeliers or for instance, a master sommelier that I love. He's always talking about wines, and I'm telling you, every time I listen to him or go to his live, I'm learning something new. So
That's
I say in the wine world, there's always something that you can learn, because there's over
great.
13 different varietals or different types of grapes that are in wine, and a lot of wines, especially if you drink US based wines, they're blended. So unless you're really reading the label, unless you know the region, um, there's a lot to know. Or just like,
Right.
hey, just go with the taste. If that's what you like, that's what you love, just drink it. That's what
Yes,
I say.
yes, yes, for sure, for sure.
Yes.
I know, and it's so funny because I was like, she's not getting this bottle. She says this bottle's like this.
She's definitely not getting it.
And like I said, I still have it in my pantry. I put it away. Um,
Hmm.
because I was like, she made it seem like this was a special bottle. And to be honest with you, I don't remember the name. But
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I'll send you a picture of it. But
Yes, you have to send me a picture.
she's not getting this one. She better not even get next to me because she was like, man, I really wanted that. And I was like, girl, nobody told you to grab that ronchata because
I know.
you ain't getting my
You
wine.
stick with
You
your
ain't
own
getting
chapter, because that's for
exactly.
you. This for me.
She was like, no, maybe. I was like, we ain't trade. We ain't gonna trade
Uh-uh.
nothing, girl. Nothing.
Nope.
Don't even think about it. I was like, I don't know too much about wine, but if you saying that this is good, you ain't having it.
Yeah, I'm taking your word for it, and I'm keeping it.
Exactly, exactly. And I tell you, like I said, I still have it to have it put away. I'm more of a sweet wine drinker.
Hmm.
So even though like I said, I don't know too much about it. I do like to have wine here and there. Um, but I do like the sweeter ones. And I think it's just in general because everything that I like is sweet, right? I like to
Yeah.
have like sweet cocktails. I like to have sweet beers, like the
Yeah.
ciders or whatever. Everything for me had to be like a little more sweet. And I guess, you know, going in with the with an open mind probably will change, right? With the
Hmm.
wine experience and things like
Yes.
that.
That's what
So
I always tell people. When you go
mhm,
to a wine tasting, just first of all, I want you to open your mind. I'm gonna ask you what you generally like, or if I don't ask you, I know for certain that someone's gonna tell me. But just have an open mind, and then what that does is that will help you to broaden your horizon, because you still may prefer a sweet wine, but then when it comes to tasting like a Pinot Gris or a Cabernet Sauvignon, you may not mind. It may not be your wine of choice, but
right,
you'll be open. Okay, I'll try a little bit of that.
right,
Always have an open
right.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course. I try to do that all the time, even with things that I eat. I
Oh
try to
yeah.
have an open mind on that as well because me as a Latina, I like all my Latin food, but
Yes.
I don't eat octopus, right? And I've tried it
Hmm.
before or whatever, but there's certain things that and anyway, now I just recently, like a couple of years ago, found out that I'm allergic to shellfish. And
Oh.
girl, girl, I used to eat
Oh.
shrimp and all that stuff. And one time
Yes.
I was at Girlsmith with a couple of
Hmm.
girlfriends and we were there, we were having wine, we were eating and all this stuff, and we had some appetizers and they had I forgot the name of the appetizer, but it was like it had shrimp in it, right?
Hmm.
And so I'm over there, we're all bugging out, we're all talking, we're all having a good time, and all of a sudden I said, okay. let me eat my appetizer. And again,
Yeah.
it has shrimp. And when you came to see, girlfriend, I had to leave because I was starting to look like Will Smith from Hitched.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh. You swole
Girl,
up. Oh my
I was like,
God.
I started getting hives, and I was like,
Hives,
you gotta be
yes.
kidding me. I was like, look, girls, I gotta go. I gotta go get some Benadryl. I
Grill,
was like,
yes.
and I didn't know because I used to eat shrimp before,
Yeah.
and I never really had a bad reaction. And then I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, things
Boom.
changed, and
Yeah.
boom, I can't have any shellfish. So I had to go and get like an allergy test and all that stuff because I
Hmm.
was like, child. And so I don't want to be going in,
Yeah.
and my throat or anything like that shuts down,
Shuts
It's
down.
crazy.
Yes, yes,
Yes. I'm like, this is
yes.
crazy. But,
Oh my
you know,
goodness.
yeah, yeah. But overall, like I said, when it comes to wine, I'm willing to try. And,
Yes.
just keep an open mind and make sure that, overall, that you're having a good experience, especially if you go with your
Right.
girlfriends. You have a
Right.
good
You just have a
experience with
good
your
time.
girlfriends. Yeah.
Right. Yes. And
Yeah.
I always say that, sometimes I have groups that, they just invite friends or they mix family and friends. I
Oh,
even
yeah.
do, like, team building sessions. So, you're doing your team building, whatever. And then
Right.
afterwards, you want to incorporate a little wine. I've even set them
That's
up and did
awesome.
those type of tasting experiences. So, I tell you, wine makes everybody feel good and puts a smile on everybody's face,
Of
right?
course. Yes. Yes. And
Yeah,
that's so good that you just said
yeah,
that because, a lot of people don't think about those things when they are doing team building events, right?
right,
I think that's awesome. I think that is awesome because you get to do, a lot of things where, and you get to ease up a little bit, right? Because I know sometimes
right.
when you go for team building stuff at work, it's like, oh, I gotta be next to this chick right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I mean, not everybody's like that, but some people,
right. But
rub you the
once,
wrong way, and you're like,
right. And you
you
might see
know,
Margie a little different
right?
outside of the 9 to 5.
Exactly, exactly. And be like, oh, this girl is cool. This girl is cool, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's amazing. That's good. So guys, if you're listening to this, she does team building too. So
Yes, team
talk to your
building
boss
or
about it.
I know. Or if you're having like a fundraising event and you want to have a type of experience or something for them to do, that's another thing.
Oh,
Part of your
true.
proceeds could go towards the
The
fundraiser
event.
charitable corporation that you're trying to give to. So, all those
That's
little things,
awesome.
you got to mix it up a little bit.
Of course, of course. And then,
Yeah.
again, like I said, there's nothing wrong with, incorporating different things to kind of expand your mind, right?
Right,
We want to
exactly.
expand everything. We want to change everything around. And again, with this pandemic, I feel like, it's about living your experiences. That is the most important thing for me.
Yes,
It's like living all your experiences and don't let nothing block your way. For
right.
sure.
Don't let anything get in your way, and especially not yourself.
Oh yeah, girl.
Yes.
I'm about to slap my own self, girl. Get out the way.
Write down, start little, write down 3 goals and just start going with them, like you said, and
Right.
just make it happen.
Right. Yes. That's how
Yeah.
I work. Like I have like a whiteboard,
Hmm.
and every month I start and I put my big goal for the month, and then I break them down into chunks because I'm an analyst in
Uh-huh.
my profession. So
Yes.
everything has to be broken down, and which is terrible in a lot of ways because you want to break things down way too much, right?
Too much.
But
But that would probably be
yes.
good for me though. See, if I seen it that way, I would be like, oh, see, I kind of need a little bit of that because my mind is
Right.
always going, I want to do this, I want to do this,
Yep.
and that. And I have to stop myself. Okay, Lynn, one
And
thing at a time or two things. You cannot do everything.
It's true, it's true. And trust me that I see it and I'm like, okay, I want to get all of this done at once. And I can frustrate myself because I'm like, okay, I'm not getting to this goal as fast as I want to, But,
Yes.
definitely, getting everything together and organizing everything and, just kind of working it, like you said, two, three things at a time, maybe for
Yes.
this week, even if it's for the week that you're only doing
Yes.
two or three things, as long as you're getting it accomplished is what's important, right?
Exactly.
And just making sure that when we're doing these things, if we didn't hit one of those goals, that we at least look back and look at what we did accomplish and not focus on what
Right.
we didn't.
Right.
And I think that is something major that I've learned over time,
Hmm.
where I will focus a lot on, damn, I didn't get this done and I wanted to get it
Yes.
done and I didn't get it and it's already been 3 weeks. But then I'm like,
Right.
wait a minute, you had two other things on the list and you had that done way a long time ago.
Right.
So,
I always try to look at the positive aspect. Even
right,
in a situation, everything might not go the way that I wanted it to go with a person, with a project, or however, but try to look at the positive outcome,
of
or, if
course.
some situation happens, I'm like, okay, what can I do to turn this around? That's that's something I have tried to do over the past, because sometimes I used to just like mull over it, and I knew that there
Right.
was nothing that I could do to I felt like there was
Change it.
nothing that I could do to change it, and sometimes there's not, but then you
Right.
might be able to work on something within yourself, or
Right.
show, how do I say, by doing, show by doing. So
Right.
if you're doing it, somebody is seeing it, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So don't be
Mm-hmm.
so hard on yourself and let it
Right.
flow. Yeah.
Yes, for sure, for sure. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree. Now, um, one more thing. Where can we book? Give me your social media handles, give me your website, and how can we get you booked, girlfriend, for these wine
Yes.
experiences?
Well, you can find Venn Collective LLC at www.vencollective, that's V as in Victor, IN collective.net. So that's www.vencollective.net. You can find me on Instagram at ven.collective and Facebook at Ven Collective. And I also offer not only the wine tasting experiences, but I offer to help with wine lists, wine etiquette, and even wine companionship. That is
Oh,
something a little bit different. Us
okay.
Midwest, or us, how do they say it? Do they call us not Midwesterner? I am a Midwesterner by way
Right.
though. I'm from
Okay.
originally from Indiana, but us
Okay.
Westerners
Okay.
versus European, we don't really have a lot of wine companions. And wine companions are just simply someone for you if you're like on a business trip or you're vacationing and you're by yourself. You don't know have anyone to go out with, and you want to enjoy a glass of wine and dinner. That's what a wine companionship is. So I am a wine
That's
companion as
awesome.
well. Yes. So we just talk about the different wines or even the wines that we're drinking, and we just enjoy dinner. There's a lot of people, like, I know that I travel on business, and a lot of times I'm just by myself,
Right.
but sometimes it would be nice to have a little bit of company. But that
Of
information you can
course.
find out definitely at vencollective.net. Um, the
I
services that I
love
offer and
that.
how to book. And yeah, that's where you can find me,
Yeah.
and have your own tasting
Wine ex
experience out there in this radio
Yes.
land.
I know, and I love it. I love the fact that
Yeah.
that you offer that as well, because I never thought about that, right? Because my jobs, I've never had to travel, but there's so
Yes.
many people who do travel. And if
Yes,
they're
we
going to travel
traveling.
for business, if you're going to travel for business and you just want to have dinner and you just want to have, somebody to talk to, or,
Exactly.
just,
And we
yeah,
meet at
because being by
a
yourself.
nice place for dinner,
Mm-hmm.
a nice winery. We meet, we have dinner, we chit chat, and then we
Yeah.
go our ways. And then sometimes that make you feel a little bit better about doing your work or sitting in that conference the next day for 10
Right.
hours.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. And so to wrap things up, I just have one last question for you.
Hmm.
What makes you happy, right? With everything going on now with the pandemic, it's like I've asked people so many times, what makes you happy?
Yes, to think about that is I'm the type of person that I like to see everybody else happy. And uh that's kind of it kind of makes it harder for me because if I'm always trying to make everybody else happy, how am I going to be happy? Somebody might
Right.
think. But putting a smile on somebody else's face always makes me happy,
Brings
and
you
that's
joy.
kind of like, yeah, and that's kind of like why I started Vin Collective LLC, just because I love to see people smile, and I love to do something positive. But I would say. What makes me happy is being able to serve. And, I was always taught to be, in order to be a good leader, you have to be a good person of service. So
Yes.
whether it's me
Yes.
volunteering in my community, helping a friend, helping a neighbor, just anywhere, I just
Right.
like to be of service where I can be, because
Oh,
if you could just touch one person, then you've done a good job.
yes, I agree,
Yeah.
girl. That just filled my heart. That felt like me. You sound
Yeah.
just like me. I feel the same way. I feel the same
Yes.
way. I absolutely love helping other people and I get pure joy out of it. And
Mhm.
just you talking, it kind of all my hair started to stand up because it just kind of reminds me of the way I like to have my environment too, and kind of
Yes.
giving back. And like you said, being a leader, some people think like being a leader, you have to tell people what to do, right?
Yes.
You
And
have
that's not
to,
always the
you have to
case.
be forced, right? And you have to be
Right.
forceful on people. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
really not the case. Being a leader is learning what you need to learn and feeding back to those you
Right.
are leading, right?
Right.
And
Exactly.
I've always thought about that. And I said, okay, God, you're giving me these tools and I'm here to pour them out. Where
Right.
what you giving me, I'm pouring back out, And sometimes I I kind of shut myself down because I'm like, people gonna think like this girl thinks she know everything, and this girl,
Yeah.
why she wants to be, and that's not the case. Is that I feel like, you know what, I've been through some of these experiences, and
Mhm.
God has put me through these things because He's gonna put somebody in my path for me to
Right.
help,
That's right.
right?
And
And
yeah.
that and everything that you just said right now just kind of hit me where I felt the same way. Like, yeah, not that I feel the same way. So I
Right.
think that's so amazing, so amazing.
Right. And so you're moving in the right direction. I'm taking
Yes.
a course through Cornell University right now. And one of the
Okay.
things that the professor said is, don't be afraid to share your experiences, your accolades, your awards, because you never know who might need to hear that, or who that might inspire to, like, push a little bit for further in something that they might
Yes.
want to do or even start. So, don't sell yourself short. And
Yes.
and, and that's I deal with that all the time myself. So
Right.
I think we're sisters, Alba.
Yes, we're soul sisters, girl. For sure. For sure. I believe it, girl. I gotta tell you, it's true. It's true. And
Yes.
it's funny because, when I go to seminars with Mary Kay, they give their accolades too. And
Yes.
some of these women, you would say, wow, they've been through what I've been through, right?
Yeah.
But they've overcome it. And I guess that's basically why you should be giving your accolades, why you should be
Right.
saying what you've experienced, because like you said, that the professor said, you never know who you're gonna touch.
Right. And you
And
know
you
what?
never
And
know.
our other belief, what it say? You are a testimony. You're a living
Yes,
testimony.
yes.
So if you not
Amen.
if you're not telling your story, then you ain't doing right now. So,
Exactly. Exactly. You better get that thing out. You better start verbal vomiting out there and
okay.
telling people
Yes.
about your experiences. Yes. And that's exactly why I started this podcast, because I'm like, you know what? I need to talk about some of these things, and some of the things, like, sometimes I get caught up. My
Hmm.
mind gets too caught up in how to do things, how to say it this way, how to do it this way, and I'm like, I would just
Just
speak,
let it flow. Yes.
just speak,
Yes.
you know.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly
Hmm.
what you mean. Because I was like, oh, I wanted to say this, or oh, that didn't come out the way I wanted it. And, just everything cannot be planned. But
Right,
I tell you, if you have a good heart and you mean well, it's gonna come
right,
out, and who needs to hear it is gonna hear it, and they're gonna tell somebody, and something is gonna be put in your path, and
right.
it's gonna multiply. And I'm speaking that into
Amen.
existence right now. Yes,
Amen. Amen, girl. That is so
yes.
true. I completely agree with you. And that's 100%, man. I tell you, I sometimes, as a matter of fact, I have this one girl at work. She's a lot younger than I am, and she says to me, "You don't know how much you've done for me." And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm only talking to you, telling you this, and giving you advice about certain things, because she is younger than I am. I would say about 20 years younger than I am. And I just tell her,
Hmm.
you know what, don't let this affect you. It's nothing personal. Don't take it personal. It's work related, right?
Yeah.
And she would tell me some of these things, and I would say to myself, I don't know, I don't really remember exactly what I said or what I've done. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I guess God is using me to fill her with her cup up over, right, with something
Yes.
that she needs. And again, I just need to stop double questioning myself and just let
Self.
it flow.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Let
let
it
it flow.
flow. Yes, yes, yes. Well, Lynn, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. I'm super excited, and definitely we need to book something to get that wine
Yes.
experience, because I need to learn some more, girl, because like I said, I got
Yes.
that wine bottle. I'll probably bring it with me so you could tell me what what it is.
Yes. At
And
least
maybe
send me
we
a
can have
picture
it
so that
together.
when I do, yes, at least send me a picture so that I can give you a wealth of information. I might even get the backdrop of story, because depending on where
Okay.
the wine comes from, there's a
Right.
story or a folklore, attached to it. So you never know.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes,
And I
yes. I'll
really
send
thank
that
you
out
for
to you.
having me as well.
Oh,
I
it's
really
my
enjoyed our time.
pleasure. I know, me too. It's my pleasure, girl. Every time we get together and talk, I absolutely love it.
I
I
do
think
too.
we fill each other. We fill each other up.
Yes, yes.
So
And we
I'm gonna
definitely
put,
need that.
yes, for sure.
Yes.
I totally agree. I'm gonna put all your stuff, your website. I'm gonna put your Instagram, your Facebook on the actual notes here on the podcast. And then
Hmm.
I am going to tag you on my Instagram, the Broken Journey, the podcast one.
Okay,
And
wonderful.
so that way we can have that all together. And God willing, you'll get some more bookings for some
Yes,
wine
that would be
experiences.
wonderful. And also remember,
Yes.
you can follow me on Eventbrite for my events as
Yes.
well. Yes,
Yes, Eventbrite. Okay.
yes. And
Sounds
that's under
good.
Vent Collective as well. Yes.
Okay. Yay, I'm so excited. Ah, thank you so much, Lynn. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and have a
Love
good
you,
evening.
girl.
Love you.
Thanks, you
Blessings.
too. Okay, same to you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.